Hey guys, how's it going? It's Baggins here, and today we're going to be talking about the huge changes coming to healing in New World with the May update. Now, currently on the May PTR, there's a whole bunch of patch notes available, and there's a bunch of changes that have gone through for healing in heavy, medium, and light armor, and some nerfs to Light's Embrace, and a few other changes as well. I'll put a link to the full patch notes and me reading through them up in the top right. But today we're going to focus just on the healing changes, as I've had a lot of people ask me, what do I think about healing in heavy armor? Is it completely dead? Is Divine Embrace the play over Light's Embrace now? So let's jump over to the patch notes and take a look at exactly what is changing. Now, one thing I do want to say before we go fully into this is the PTR. It's a test realm, so things that happen on here aren't necessarily guaranteed to go to live, although I do have a strong inkling that they're not going to go back on these changes unless there is major pushback. Now, if you guys don't like the changes that you're seeing here and you want to, have your voice be heard, I'll put a link to the forums and these patch notes in the description down below. Go leave your feedback there, tell Amazon what you think about the changes. So as we scroll down through the patch notes, one of the first changes to healing that we come across here is this one, the updated equip load healing bonus to be multiplicative. Basically, what this means is the bonus that you get from being in light armor, medium armor, heavy armor, now it's a negative, is subtracted or added after all of the other maths is done. At least I believe. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but generally this will mean that the equipment load bonus, the extra healing, will actually be much more noticeable. Right now on live, you're supposed to be getting a 30% bonus to healing, but it actually ends up feeling usually more like a 15% bonus. So this is actually going to generally mean that we'll have higher healing numbers in light armor. But before you get too excited, there is this part down here. It says removed medium equip load healing bonus and increase the reduction to healing in the heavy equip load. Healing bonuses per equip load now are light plus 30%, medium 0, and heavy is minus 30%. So you're going to be doing 30% less healing in heavy, and it's actually like a 30% now because of the way that they've changed the additive, multiplicative nature of the healing bonuses. Then on top of that, we get a few other changes, specifically with the life staff. Targeted heals, you can now do them while you're on the move. However, it is a very slow move. You're basically RP walking. And Light's Embrace has had its cast time increased to 1 second. It's the same cast time as Divine Embrace now, significantly slower. And also, they've reduced the bonus healing per buff from 30% to 15%. So every buff that you have on the target is like half less healing than it was previously, which actually does change the numbers quite a bit. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, I've had a lot of people asking me about these changes. What do I think about healing on the PTR? And if it does go live, what does this mean for us? Well, in order to better answer this question, I thought I'd give you guys a visual demonstration here on the screen. So this is the New World Tools website, and on here they have a healing calculator. They explain how they do the maths here, and it seems to be roughly similar to what we would get on live. You can put in a whole bunch of information here, including like the gear score of your life staff, so you can actually get a, you can see how much of a difference 600 to 625 does make. And then we can put in a bunch of other things as well, like intensify, how many stacks of intensify, how many buffs are on the target, is the target diseased, are they standing in sacred ground, so on and so forth. And not only do they have this for live, but they also have this for the PTR as well, so they've updated the maths for what it is on the test server. So I've gone ahead and put in the exact same information, the exact same number of focus, the gear score, the blessed, the diamond, and the life staff. And as you can see here, we have a choice between light, medium, and heavy. So heavy, currently on live, your Divine Embrace would be healing for 4,320. Your Light's Embrace with 2 buffs on the target, which I think is fairly reasonable because if you rock the Sacred Protection and the Spirits United, that's already 2 buffs there. And, there's a bunch of other ways you could use Orb to get some buffs on them, Sacred Ground, etc. But yeah, with 2 buffs, we have 3,620 and 4,320 as the Divine Embrace number. Now, if we go over to the PTR, 3620 for the Light's Embrace. On the PTR, it is 2275, so that is significantly lower. This is heavy armor again, all of the numbers the same. The Divine Embrace, 3024 in heavy armor, whereas on live right now it's 4,320. So you can already see heavy armor healing having a massive impact on healing, doing significantly less. But interestingly enough, if we go to light armor, the numbers actually aren't really that different on some of the heals. We got Sacred Ground for 960 and then heavy 850, so only 100 less. But if we compare light here, 960 on the Sacred Ground, and then we go over to the PTR, it's 1,105, and it gets really crazy with some of these other ones as well. Light's Embrace being 4,225, whereas on live it's only 3,990, which is crazy because that's after the nerf to Light's Embrace. It's still healing for more, and again, that's to do with the changes to the multiplicative bonus. So the light armor healing bonus is actually much stronger now, and the heavy armor healing bonus is much weaker. Now, if you guys do want to have a play with this website for yourself, I'll put a link to that in the description down below as well, including both the PTR and the normal version. But as you can see, in general, light armor healing, the light attack healing for 650 on live, healing for 749 on the PTR, Divine Embrace healing for 5616, whereas on live it's 4875. You can see that light armor is basically the way to go. It's getting stronger, and heavy armor is getting significantly weaker. Some heals healing for like 1,000 less, and I can testify I've done a little bit of healing on the PTR as well in arenas, and the heavy armor healing is just really, really bad. Like sometimes my Light's Embrace was hitting for under 2,000, sometimes even under 1,000 when the dampening kicks in. So yeah, it really does feel like, unfortunately, heavy armor healing is dead, and I need to scrap all those previous videos that we've put up on the channel, or make a disclaimer: do not heal in heavy armor if these changes go forward. For those of you curious about the medium numbers, it's actually pretty similar. So medium does look like it would still be an option on live right now. Our Splash of Light heals for 2,299. Whereas if we go over to the PTR and medium, it heals for 2,160. So pretty similar numbers, honestly. Divine Embrace doing 4,320 on the PTR, whereas on live it's doing 5,497. So it's a little bit weaker, but not that much weaker. If you feel a little bit too squishy in light armor, you would like a little bit more tankiness, medium armor does seem like it is still going to be a viable option. Now, the other question that we covered at the start of this video is Light's Embrace versus Divine Embrace. Seeing as they both have the same cast time now, which one are we going to be going for? Should we be using the Light's Embrace, or should we be using the Divine Embrace? Well, again, by referring to this tool that we have here on the PTR, we can take a look at the difference between the heals. Divine Embrace being 4,320 HP, whereas Light's Embrace only being 3,250. Now, if we can put some more buffs on the target, you can actually see we need a lot of buffs to be able to get more than Divine Embrace. 8 buffs on the target, which I think is actually going to be kind of tricky. I think like usually 3 or 4 is fairly reasonable. Now, Light's Embrace does still have a shorter cooldown. You can see 4 seconds on here, whereas the 6 seconds on Divine Embrace. It also costs less mana, and it can give stamina, which is pretty damn handy in PvP. My most honest answer that I can give to this is I'm not quite sure yet. I think we're going to have to see how it plays out. I suspect that Divine Embrace is going to be a go-to that you use in PvP arenas, especially with the refreshing Divine Embrace perk. It reduces the cooldown by basically half if the target's under 50%, effectively putting Divine Embrace on a 3-second cooldown, which then at that point makes it a quicker cooldown than Light's Embrace and allows it to heal for more than Light's Embrace. Plus, we have the added benefit that sometimes it can bounce to another target, and I think this is where we have to make the decision, is like, can Divine Embrace bounce to another target reliably? I think in 3v3 arenas, you're generally playing pretty close to each other, so there's a real likelihood that it can happen there, but in some of the situations, maybe your friendlies aren't stacked up close enough to take advantage of this, and you're kind of going to have to play that one by ear. You know, if you have a bunch of mages or rangers that are all spread out across the room, pop in Divine Embrace on the tank. Whilst it could potentially heal it for more than Light's Embrace, the shared struggle is probably not going to happen because there's not going to be another target within 8 meters, or if there is, they're probably going to be relatively full health since they're staying at a distance. So to recap this video, I did just want to keep it a pretty quick one, a little insight on the changes that are coming on the PTR. Heavy armor healing, I think, is pretty dead. Medium armor healing, still viable, just slightly weaker than it is on live, and light armor healing is better. And if you are going to invest in a set of armor for healing, light armor is probably the way to go. In terms of Light's Embrace versus Divine Embrace, I think it's going to be pretty tied, and there's going to be some situations where one is better than the other, whereas right now Light's Embrace is basically always better. Particularly in 3v3 arenas, though, I do think Divine Embrace is going to be the way to go, especially with the refreshing Divine Embrace perk. But that being said, that is my thoughts on it, guys, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about these healing changes in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the nerfs to heavy armor, the nerfs to Light's Embrace, anything else. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and click the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.